I'm not done. They just haven't started. Sometimes just trying to get home kind of stinks. So I'm supposed to be home in a couple of days, and right now I'm up in Norfolk, Nebraska, because my life is rich and full. I've discovered that Norfolk is where boredom goes to die from boredom. This load was not ideal, but I'll tell you how I got it. Was down in actually in Hurricane Helen myself. Thankfully I wasn't as far east as a lot of those guys, and I made it out okay. And we had a bunch of freight down there, and then suddenly we didn't have a bunch of freight. So I was hoping to get something back up to Sioux Falls or up to Beersford or up to Baraboo. I got Norfolk, Nebraska. It'll work. But now there's one load 15 miles from here that I'm hoping I can get tomorrow. So we're gonna find out, and I guess we'll catch you guys in the morning. Well, I got my load home. Now, here's the odd thing. I have to go 80 miles north to get it. Okay, we're getting going, but I got to get some fuel. Oh, she's a humming. Got to fill up that reefer tank too. Got the windshield washed. Finish up this, and then we'll get on the road. We got to head north. Come on now. You're just screwing with me now. Red. Jerk. Part of it is that there's no sending unit on the other side, and that's what the APU pulls off of, so it'll look a lot fuller than it really is, because it's filling up the passenger side. Driver's side clicked, passenger side still. Oh, there we are. So we're finally on our way. Got to make one stop on the way up there, but it's for me. There's chicken wings and garlic sauce in my future. The TA Express in Vermilion has a Pizza Hut Express. There's an express on top of an express, and they have chicken wings. And while I'll tell you that the chicken wings are small and pathetic, honestly, for what they charge for them, they got a garlic dipping sauce, which, well, it's worth it. It makes it worth it. So let's get to some chicken wings. So I got my garlic sauce. I got my wings. It's time to get back on the road. It's just shy of 2 hours up here, and I really kind of wanted to get some lunch, so it all kind of worked out. So let's get up to where we need to be and get this load. Well, it's done. We got our paperwork. So, it's probably still in the door. So, let me go see if I can go on the scavenger hunt that is this load. Let's go see if we can find it. Ain't none of those. 5381. Kind of hoping, and I can see it's not in the door. That means it's probably over there somewhere. I'm kind of hoping it's one with a drop axle or a lift axle. I like those. They burn less fuel because you have one axle off the ground, and they just kind of roll along a lot better. I really do like them. Like I said, I like them a lot better. Keep this pig under 5 miles an hour here in the lot. So, found a bunch of them that were close. That's not good. There it is. I'm glad he moved. He was right next to where we need to be. It's got a lift axle? No, it does not. Well, that's disappointing. Alley-oop. So we just got to run around and put the seal on the back. Got to reach over and get it. I don't know why these shag drivers don't bother to put the seals on themselves. But they stick it with all the paperwork and it never ends up on anything. So, yeah. Well, I guess there's some air in it. I can hear it hissing out. Oh, well, that's good. Apparently there is a seal on it. So, all right, we get 2 of them now. Because I really just don't care. I don't break seals. Seals have gotten to be such a serious thing lately, sorry about the wind, is that I've doubled and tripled them on. If there's a seal on there, I won't break that seal for nothing. Just to protect myself, for sure. This wound up. Got those where they need to be. If this was a drop axle, there'd be a second light right there, and then there'd be a switch box underneath that back axle. So we got a couple things to do before we take off. Gotta do the computer work. One of the things I always do when I'm sitting here is to just let that thing fill up and get comfortable. I do that while it's not moving. So we go to the computer here. We got to change out the, erase all that. Yep. So we got to put the new trailer in, which is 5381. So, yep. Done. It'll pop up. There we are. We got to hit the shipping ID. Like I said, one of the most important things isn't so much this main screen. It's when you go down here. So one of the things that you need to do when you get here is go to this screen here, because this is what the DOT looks at. They don't look at the other screen. They want to see the correct trailer number. Now I got 2 trailer numbers in here, but I had 2 trailers today. You see the commodity here, and of course everything else I just went ahead and certified it, because why not? Because I got fat fingers. So what do I mean? This right here, this screen right here, and all this info, they don't see that. What they see, and I've said this before, is what's on this. This is what the DOT sees. This is the equivalent of signing your logbook and writing your stuff down when you was on paper. Now we also have these routes and all that, and it so we got to figure out, I'm going to start this route, and then I got to fill out this when I pick up and this when I deliver. It's for the company bookkeeping, but the goofy thing is you still got to call up and get it all in. So it just finals it out on the computer, I guess. It's a logistical thing. As far as I know, it's just something logistics, and it's a pain. They ask too many questions. There could be an easier way, but that means more money, so I get it. So I do the loaded and leaving, and then I do the load comment, and they want to know the same information all over again. So the trailer number in here, we are golden. Done. Fat fingers. I have very poor circulation in my fingers. I always have, so touchscreens don't work all that well. And getting home, a lot of times things just aren't ideal, but they work. And this was one of those deals. I'll be there tonight. I will burn most of my clock. I should be there about 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight. Now I do know this. I'm wanting to go home. And I'm going to go home. But generally, there's 2 drivers doing this load. One guy's got a full load. A lot of times one guy's got a partial load. So, it makes me sound like a jerk to say this, but I really try to get there before the partial guy gets there. There's one dock door open. If you get that, you're the first one unloaded. You open your doors, you back in, you go to bed, you wake up when they start shaking the truck. And now it may sound like I'm being selfish and mean, but I'll guarantee you, he ain't gonna wait for me either. Trying to get home, you know, you put your request in, you know, a week or so prior. And it all kind of works out. You get to a good spot. I'll tell you right now, with the way things have been, you can't count on any kind of freight. But this is the catch-22. You also don't want to bounce, you know, 250 miles to get a load to go 475 miles. Don't want to do that. I know guys that do. I'm gonna tell you this, especially with the hurricane coming through. Called up dispatch the other day, and I says, I need a load. I'm on the south side of Memphis. I need a load home. Or I just said I need a load back to wherever. Got furniture, whatever. Let's get up to Baraboo. Let's get up to Beersford. Let's get. And he flat said, I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't got nothing. Says I got 2 loads out of Humboldt, Tennessee, which was about 2-hour drive from me. He said this morning I had all the freight in the world, and he said in the last hour, he says it's gone. It just flat gone. I was like, you're kidding me. He goes, no. He said the hurricane, everything else like that, he said the loads are just gone. He says, I'm going to be very straight up with you. And I know this guy, and he was. He said, if you don't take this load, you're going to be sitting. Because the guy under you, he will take it. And I didn't like the load. I didn't like where it was going. I didn't like the company it was delivering it to. And they're in Norfolk. But I tell you what, I also knew that this was my opportunity to get out of the area, to get to some better freight. So I took it. And yeah, I picked it up Saturday, delivered it Sunday night. It was not hard, but it was a little rough in some spots. I'm glad I got out of the rain. But it's just one of those things I had to deal with. One of the things that they always tease us with about being an owner-operator or a lease driver or any kind of independent, hold it with my knee, is freedom. Freedom. They like to throw that word around. That's a farce. I get more freedom here than I did my last job, I'll tell you that. I was an owner-operator and I was being forced dispatched. And like I said, they claimed it wasn't because I had the option to refuse it. But there I was not given any choice. And if I dropped it, I literally went to the bottom of the list, which I thought was funny because for some reason us owner-operators were at the bottom of the list anyways. So when you want to get home, there's so many things that are just not ideal. There's no perfect situation. And sometimes, you know, you gotta... Now, here's the thing. If he'd had a load going to Baraboo, I would have done that. If he would have said, like, look, I got a load going to Oklahoma City, or out to Garden City, I would have known right then and there that was kind of what that was what I was stuck with. That's what I was going to get. Now, it's closer from Oklahoma City to my house than it is, actually, it's within about 10 miles of each other, now that I think about it. But it was what I was stuck with. So when this guy gives me one load, I know that that's it. That's all I got. So I sit there and look at it. It's about 90, 100 miles worth of deadhead, and it is what it is. But the nice thing is it will deliver 15 minutes from the house. So let's get down to the shop, get my def put in, and we will just have to go from there. Was just sitting there looking at the time and realized that I'm going to be getting into Omaha right around rush hour and across I-80 between Omaha and Lincoln, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm going to basically we're going to go the same way back through Norfolk the way we did, straight down 81, basically all the way there. So it's a few spots that'll probably get a little bit, it's better at night, trust me on that, but there'll be a few spots that'll probably be slowing down, but truthfully I really just don't want to deal with it. And you ask me why I don't go the other way. Well, I don't go the other way down to Sioux City and across 20 because 20 just sucks. And at this time of day, even if I go across 20, I'm going to cut down 35. And everybody and their brother cuts down 35 to 275 to Norfolk. So we just get off here. It's pretty straight shot all the way to Yankton, and then we just go straight south. That wind is really picking up, but once I start heading south, it'll be at my back, so that'll be all right. It is. The wind is brutal today. Okay, one of the things you're going to find out as you get older is you tend, it sounds funny to say it this way, you tend to get a little crotchety. That's a good thing and that's a bad thing. Being crotchety keeps you alive and kind of keeps you from doing stupid stuff. It also keeps people away from you. But also, being crotchety keeps people away from you. Usually the people you need. So, discretion is the, what's the old saying? Discretion is the main tenet of valor or something like that. Anyhow, I've come to realize that I don't like the interstates like I used to. It's just, they're rougher and it's just, they're not enjoyable like they used to be. So we're gonna have to get down here somewhere, do a half-hour break, and then probably at the Loves that I started off at this morning. Yeah, we'll do a half-hour break there, and I'll just get some DEF fluid there. I won't top it off, but then we'll just continue to head south.
Baby, read the fine print. I've got baggage and it's all Gucci. Don't get too attached to me. Everybody act like the answer. One love like in the movies. Wasting precious time assuming. Were we made to fall? No, I'm not lonely when solo and solely exploring what I need. Cause dozens of times I swear that I knew when the wisdom was scanty. Doesn't mean I was broken so open, I gave until empty. Got it all back by myself, no nobody can tempt me. If I turn off.
I had to do my half-hour break there in York. I did it at the Petro. I'm sitting there working on some SD cards and stuff like that, and one guy's trying to back into a spot, one tries trying to drive through a spot, and they apparently are trying to do through the same spot. The one guy's going the wrong way, he's fighting with the one guy going the right way. They're screaming and yelling and hollering, and yeah, that's the way to be professional. It was ignorant. I understood what both were trying to do, but neither of them would give an inch, and they just both acted like stubborn jerks. It was about 5 minutes of them yelling, and truthfully, if one guy had just given just a little bit, or they'd both work together, it would have been about 15 seconds of anticlimactic moving trucks around. So yeah, this is why we can't have nice things. So I got about, what it says, right at 3.5, 4 hours to my delivery. Maybe I'll be there at 8:30, I guess. Not bad. So we get through here, and yeah, my body's already knowing it's going home. It's already starting to want to relax, and I'm like, wait a minute, stop, wait. You know, just one of those things when your body wants to start relaxing because it knows you're on the final stretch, and you're like, oh, don't unwind yet. We've still got some room to go. According to the GPS, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes from where I'm at, 222 miles away. I'll be there about 8:30. This is Google Maps is really for cars. So we will just keep on going there and hope for the best. So it's the next morning, and yeah, just sitting here waiting for these slow pokes to get my trailer empty. This is always the hardest part. I was going to do some videoing last night, and last night I got in here, I started doing a bunch of editing, and I just fell asleep. But yeah, continually waiting on somebody else. I'm just right here next to 54. Thankfully the wind died down, but as soon as these guys are empty, I can be on my way. Ooh, we just got empty.
Miles an hour, becoming southeast after.
Okay, all the check engine lights are out now. Got it. Pull this thing out, close the doors, let's check the inside of the trailer. I'm not saying these guys didn't unload me, because assuredly they did. It's furniture, but we're not dealing with top shelf here. These new trailers tend to drop all the air out of them. I hate the way they do that. So, not any messier than it was when I brought it in. Bringing a dry van home brings its own different complications, but they work for me, but sometimes they don't work for the company. Just because of the location of the freight where I'm picking up. But that being said, I like it. So now that I'm empty, I'm gonna sit here and we're gonna just PC back to the house. The thing to always remember when you're dealing with personal conveyance is to always have your explanation written down properly. You know, empty, no load, no dispatch, doing this, doing that. Be very direct in what you're doing. Man, these DOT guys around here, well, around anywhere anymore, they just don't play anymore. So make sure your PC is straight up and you're doing it right, because this is where they're nailing people now. So, made it home. It's nice to be home. It's nice to be able to jump in the shower, which 100 other people haven't done their business in that day. I guess what this whole thing has been about is getting home can be a process, but it doesn't have to be a bad process. You sit there and put in your request. Yeah, a lot of times things don't work out. And trust me, with a lot of companies, it's completely impersonal. Luckily, I don't work for one of those companies. They work on getting me home when it's time to get home. But that being said, a lot of the time that guys have problems, it can be a whole myriad of things. Sometimes you're just in a bad area. Sometimes you didn't put your request in time. And sometimes things just happen. But made it home. It was a process, and truthfully, with everything that was going on out east, I'm glad I made it home when I did. I like going out to the east, southeast. I like the North Carolina. But with what's going on out there, it's probably going to be a while before I'm out there again. That being said, we'll probably get a load out there because nobody else wants to go. But that's the thing. It's not personal. You can't get mad when you don't get your way. And sometimes getting home is a process. I was really hoping that where I was at, there's one particular load that would have... basically, it wouldn't have involved me going 90 miles north to come 90 miles south right back where I started. That's 3.25 hours when all's said and done. It would involve 15 minutes south and another 5.5 hours. That would have been great. Life doesn't work like that. So, when things like this happen, getting home is still getting home, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And trust me, I got paid for it. So, it wasn't ideal, but it worked out. So, guys, when it's time to get home, make sure you do everything the way your company wants you to do it. And just, sometimes you just got to grit and bear it. There's been times where it wasn't ideal, but if I stayed out an extra 2 or 3 days, it gave me enough time to bounce somewhere and then get back. As long as you don't have to be home on a rigid day, give your dispatch, about a week and a half heads up, and give them an open window. You don't have to give them a hard line. If you give them an open window, a lot of times things work out and they can do more with you. Sometimes not. But whatever your situation is, I hope it works well. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Keep your chin up, and when you get home, guys, enjoy your home time. We'll see you next video.